Imagine the setting for a second. It's a Saturday night. You're working a double shift at, one of those mid-range restaurants.
Yeah, the ones with the sticky laminated menu.
Exactly. Sticky menus, endless soda refills. The kitchen permanently smells like a mix of fryer grease and lemon cleaner. You are deep in the weeds. Your feet are just throbbing. You have that very specific kind of headache.
The hospitality headache.
Yes. The one that only comes from dehydration and fake smiling for 6 hours straight.
Right. You're completely on autopilot at that point.
You really are. You're just trying to survive until closing time.
It's like a trance state. You're essentially a machine. Input order, output food.
Exactly. And then, right in the middle of this mindless grind, a customer waves you over.
And you're probably expecting a complaint about an overcooked steak or something.
Or a request for more napkins, right. But instead, you get an interaction that feels... well, it just feels slightly off. It isn't immediately dangerous. It's just weird, a little too personal, a little too intense for a random table in Section 4.
Psychologists actually call this a pattern interrupt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's designed to snap you out of your script and force you to pay attention.
Well, it definitely worked here. Because within 10 minutes of that interruption, your reality hasn't just shifted, it has completely inverted.
Wow.
You're standing outside in the snow, shivering, wearing shoes that are not yours, and you are terrified for a stranger's life.
That escalates quickly.
And 10 minutes after that, you aren't cashing out your tips, you're in the back of a police cruiser.
Hands cuffed.
Hands cuffed behind your back, staring down a felony charge.
It sounds like the plot of a Hitchcock movie. Or, I don't know, a fever dream you have after eating too much cheese.
Right. But this is a very real, very modern example of how quickly a normal life can be dismantled by a sophisticated narrative.
And we should probably mention the object at the center of all this chaos.
Yes, a pair of diamond-encrusted Louis Vuitton heels.
Retail value of what, $10,000?
$10,000, easy.
See, to most people, those shoes are a status symbol. They represent luxury, wealth, maybe a bit of excess. But in the story we're analyzing today, those shoes are a weapon.
A weapon, I like that.
Or, probably more accurately, they're the bait in a very complex trap.
So here's the uncomfortable question we're going to wrestle with today.
Let's hear it.
If a trembling stranger grabbed your arm, looked you dead in the eye, and told you their life was in danger,
right,
and that the absolute only way to save them was to trade shoes with you, what would you do?
Look, we all like to think we'd be the hero.
Of course.
We'd help, we'd act, we wouldn't just walk away.
But what if that instinct, that exact desire to be the hero, is exactly what someone is counting on to destroy you?
That is the terrifying premise of today's deep dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. I'm so glad we're getting into this today. I've been reading through the source material on this waitress's account, and honestly, it kept me up last night.
It's intense.
We're breaking down a viral event, a first-hand account that surfaced recently, and we aren't just going to retell the story for entertainment.
No, we have a mission here.
Exactly. We're going to treat this like a forensic investigation.
Right, because we aren't just consuming true crime for the thrill of it. We need to analyze this event using a very specific cognitive framework.
To understand how these high-stakes scams actually work.
Precisely. We need to understand the mechanics so we don't fall for them ourselves.
I love a good framework. It keeps us honest and stops us from just, rambling about how crazy the story is.
It grounds the analysis.
So lay it out for us. How are we tackling this massive story today?
We're going to look at this through a structure of 1, 3, 1, 1.
Okay, 1, 3, 1, 1.
Right. First, we have one phenomenon.
The phenomenon.
That's the encounter itself.
Right.
The raw data, the sensory details of what actually happened in that restaurant booth.
Okay, just the facts of the case. I like it.
Second, we're going to look at 3 observations.
What are those?
These are the specific psychological levers the scammer pulled to bypass the victim's logic.
The tricks, basically.
Yeah. We're going to look at the architecture of urgency, the use of a physical prop, and the collapse of reality.
Urgency, the prop, the collapse.
Got it.
And the third part of the framework.
Third, we have one structural explanation.
Okay.
This is the actual mechanics of the crime, specifically the fall guy architecture.
How to frame an innocent person.
Exactly. How do you design a crime where the innocent bystander looks guilty to the cops?
That's insidious. And the final piece.
The fourth piece is one counterintuitive point.
The counterintuitive point.
That's a lesson that really hurts. It's about why our best instincts, our empathy, our kindness, our social training, are sometimes our biggest vulnerabilities.
That is the part that really chills me.
Yeah.
Because we're raised to be helpful. We're raised to be good citizens. And you're telling me that being a good citizen is what literally puts the handcuffs on you.
In this specific scenario, yes.
Wow.
Altruism is a button. And if you press it hard enough, you can override the security systems of the human brain.
Well, let's get into it. Let's go straight to the scene of the crime. Section 1.
The phenomenon.
Right. Set the stage for us. What does the source material actually tell us about the environment that night?
Okay, so the source comes from a waitress. Let's call her Sarah for the sake of the narrative.
Sarah? Got it.
It's a Saturday night, peak dinner rush. The restaurant is incredibly loud. Clattering plates, a low hum of conversation, pop music blaring on the speakers.
Sensory overload.
Totally. And Sarah is wearing her standard uniform. Black pants, black shirt, and a pair of worn-out, comfortable sneakers.
Sensible shoes. She's on her feet for hours.
Function over fashion. She needs traction, not style.
Makes perfect sense.
So she has this couple dining at one of her tables, a woman and her husband.
Okay.
They seem completely normal. They order drinks, they look at the menu. Sarah drops off the water and walks away to check out another table.
Standard operating procedure. Nothing to see here.
Totally standard. Until the husband gets up to use the bathroom. The moment he is out of earshot, the dynamic at the table changes instantly. The woman waves Sarah over.
And this is where the pattern interrupt happens.
Right. She doesn't ask for a refill. She doesn't ask about the daily specials.
What does she ask?
She asks a question that is so specific, so odd, that it jars Sarah completely out of her waitress mode.
Okay.
She asks, are the shoes you're wearing comfortable to run in?
That is such a bizarre question to ask your server.
It is a brilliant opening move.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
In social engineering, this is textbook. You're expecting, can I have some ranch dressing? And instead, you get a query about your footwear's athletic performance.
Right.
It forces the brain to stop its automatic processing. You have to engage directly with the speaker. It demands pure focus.
So Sarah's probably taken aback.
She actually chuckles. She thinks it's a joke, or maybe the woman is just making really weird small talk.
I would think the same thing. Like, is this a prank?
Yeah. She says, "Sorry, what?" And the woman points at the sneakers. The source describes the woman's hand trembling on the table.
Trembling. Okay, so not a joke.
She isn't smiling at all. She looks terrified. They look like they're good for running in, even sprinting.
Even sprinting. That is a very specific qualifier.
It implies a need for maximum speed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it implies flight. It implies that just jogging isn't going to cut it. Someone is chasing you.
Precisely. And Sarah, still confused, looks down at her shoes, these beat-up Nikes, and says, "I guess they are."
Then she asks the obvious question.
Why?
Right, why do you care about my sneakers?
And does the woman answer?
I'm guessing no.
No. The woman ignores the why completely and pivots straight to logistics. She asks, "What size are they?"
Notice the control of the conversation there.
Absolutely. The woman is driving, Sarah is just reacting to the questions.
It's almost a dominance technique, isn't it? Just masked as desperation.
That's exactly what it is. She isn't answering questions. She's acquiring data.
So Sarah says, size 7. Again, why? And here's the first hook.
What happens?
The woman clasps her hands together, looking like she just won the lottery, and says, I'm size 7 too.
Now, let me ask you, do you think that was a coincidence?
I mean, size 7 is a pretty common shoe size for women. It's possible.
It is possible, but in a setup like this, nothing is accidental.
You think she was lying about her size?
Think about it. If Sarah had said size 9, the woman likely would have said, "I can make that work," or close enough.
Oh, I see.
The goal is to establish a connection. We are the same. It creates an instant bond. It suggests destiny.
We're both size 7. It's meant to be.
Exactly.
So at this point, Sarah's thinking what we would all think. Is this lady high? Is this a TikTok prank?
Right.
But then the atmosphere shifts again. The woman leans in close across the table. Her voice drops really low.
Drawing her in.
Yeah. Her eyes are darting around the room, checking the exits, checking the bathroom door, and then she drops the bomb.
She says, "I need to run right now, but I can't run in these heels."
And this is where the prop comes in, the object of desire.
Yes. Sarah looks down at the woman's feet under the table.
And what does she see?
She's wearing these stunning, diamond-encrusted Louis Vuitton heels.
I mean, these are showstoppers.
The kind of shoes you see on a red carpet. $10,000? Easy.
This is a crucial element. We really need to understand the semiotics here.
The symbolism.
Yeah. The shoes represent status, wealth, power.
But in this specific narrative, the woman is constructing.
They're a cage.
Exactly. They are a liability. They are the thing that will get her killed.
The woman points outside. It's February. There is snow and ice coating the entire parking lot.
So she's trapped.
She says, if I try to run barefoot, I'll slip. If I run in heels, I'll slip. Either way, he'll catch me.
He'll catch me. Now we have a villain. We have a monster in the story.
Sarah feels her stomach tighten. It's that visceral, physical reaction to another human being's fear.
Empathy kicking in.
She asks, who is he? And the woman says, my husband.
And then she delivers the line that just freezes Sarah's blood.
She says, he told me in the car that he's going to kill me tonight.
This is the narrative hook. It's primal.
A death threat.
It bypasses the logic center of the brain entirely and goes straight to the amygdala.
The fear center.
Right. And she adds a detail to make it feel overwhelmingly real. She says, "I saw what he packed in the trunk."
Oh, that is terrifying.
It implies weapons, tools, duct tape, something gruesome. It forces your imagination to fill in the blanks, which is almost always scarier than the truth.
So Sarah does what any rational person, any law-abiding citizen would do in that situation.
She offers to call the cops.
Exactly. She glances toward the bathroom hallway and whispers, call the police. I have a phone in my apron.
The logical solution. Bring in the authorities. De-escalate.
And the woman shuts it down instantly.
Of course she does.
She gives this bitter, quiet little laugh and says, he is police.
Wow.
15 years on the force. His buddies would arrest me before they'd help me.
This is masterclass manipulation.
It really is.
It's a technique called isolation. She has deliberately cut off the victim's lifeline.
You can't call for help because the help is the enemy.
Exactly. It creates an us versus them dynamic where Sarah is made to feel like the only person in the entire world who can save her.
She squeezes Sarah's wrist, breaking the touch barrier, and begs, please, I need your shoes.
So now Sarah is in a bind.
A massive bind.
She has a split second to decide. Do I believe this terrified woman and help her escape a murderer? Or do I cling to my dirty sneakers and risk being wrong?
And if she's wrong, a woman dies. That is the equation forming in her head.
Precisely. Which brings us perfectly to the second section of our framework.
The 3 observations.
Yes. We need to unpack these, starting with observation 1, the architecture of urgency.
Why does urgency matter so much in a scam like this?
Because scams like this die in a vacuum.
What do you mean by that?
If Sarah had an hour to sit down in the break room, call a friend, maybe Google the husband's name, or just think about the absurdity of the request.
The scam would fall apart.
Completely. The logic gaps will become obvious. So the scammer absolutely must remove the time to think. They have to induce what we call cognitive loading.
Overwhelming the brain.
Right. How did she do that here?
The ticking clock.
Yes.
The husband isn't just away, he's in the bathroom. Sarah asks, how long do we have? And the woman says, I think he's taking a dump. So maybe 3 minutes. 4 max.
See, that is such a crude, realistic detail. Taking a dump.
It really adds a layer of authenticity, doesn't it?
It does. You don't expect someone to lie about something that mundane. It feels too raw to be scripted.
But more importantly, it sets a hard deadline. 3 minutes.
You cannot process complex logic in 3 minutes when your adrenaline is spiking.
Your heart is pounding.
The brain is so busy processing the threat, he is going to kill her,
Mm-hmm.
and the timeline, 3 minutes, that it shuts down the critical thinking centers.
It's a biological response.
Exactly. Your body prioritizes survival over analysis.
So Sarah doesn't even argue. She takes a deep breath and says, okay. Let's go. Bathroom now.
She has entered the action tunnel.
The action tunnel.
She is no longer analyzing the situation. She is executing a plan. She is moving.
They go to the women's bathroom. The woman walks calmly, like nothing is wrong, which Sarah thinks is her just trying to be brave, but in hindsight is actually chilling.
Very chilling. They get into the last stall.
A confined space, high stress, just the two of them.
The woman has already kicked off the Louis Vuittons. Sarah kicks off her sneakers. They swap in total silence.
Notice the intimacy of this.
Swapping shoes in a cramped bathroom stall.
It creates a massive psychological bond. We are in this together.
It makes Sarah an active accomplice to the escape. It physically connects them.
Sarah even gives the woman instructions. She takes charge.
What does she tell her?
She says, back door through the kitchen. Walk. Don't run until you hit the pavement. He can see the parking lot from his seat.
Wow.
She is literally coaching the woman on how to evade her husband.
She has fully accepted the role of the savior. She is deeply invested in the success of the mission. She wants this woman to get away.
The woman grabs Sarah's hands, tears in her eyes. She says, I don't know your name. It doesn't matter. Go. And she disappears out the back door.
And just like that, the phenomenon is complete. The swap has happened.
But Sarah is left holding the bag.
Or, in this case, wearing the evidence.
Right. She walks back out to the restaurant floor, wobbling in these heels that are way too high for waitressing. And she waits.
Which leads us to observation 2, the Trojan horse.
Let's talk about the heels as an object, because this is the part that originally confused me.
Okay, let's break it down.
Usually if someone is trying to scam you, they want something from you.
Give me your money.
Give me your password. Give me your car keys. That's the standard model of theft. Extraction.
Right.
But in this case, the scammer gave the victim something, and not just anything, an object of immense obvious value.
$10,000. Diamond encrusted.
Why? Why would a scammer give away a fortune?
This is the genius of the manipulation. It lowers suspicion through the reciprocity rule and simple economics.
How so?
Sarah's brain is doing the math. Why would a scammer give me $10,000 shoes in exchange for $60 sneakers?
The math doesn't make sense for a robbery.
Exactly. Therefore, her brain concludes it must be real.
It validates the emergency story. The only reason you would abandon a fortune is to save your life.
Yes. If the woman had asked for Sarah's car keys, Sarah would have hesitated.
For sure.
But shoes. And giving her vastly more expensive shoes in return, it feels like a winning trade, or at least fair collateral.
But the heels are a Trojan horse.
They look like a gift, but they're actually the dangerous element. They're radioactive material.
And there's a physical element to this Trojan horse too, right?
Absolutely. Think about the functionality. Sarah's a waitress. She needs to move fast.
Yeah.
Now she's wearing 6-inch stilettos that aren't hers.
So Sarah is standing there waiting for the abusive husband to come back from the bathroom.
She's checking the clock.
1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Imagine the cortisol levels in her system. Every time the bathroom door opens, she expects a monster to walk out.
She is preparing herself for a confrontation. She's rehearsing her lines. She left. I don't know where she went.
10 minutes go by. The table is still empty.
Her stomach is twisting. She's thinking, did he see her? Did he run after her? Did he catch her in the parking lot?
She wants to go check.
But, and this is a key detail, she literally can't walk effectively. She describes herself as wobbling. She could barely stand on the slick tile floor.
Which physically incapacitates her.
She is anchored to the spot.
The shoes literally prevent her from investigating or leaving. She is a sitting duck.
And then reality collapses. Observation 3, the collapse.
The transition from the internal drama in her head to a massive external force.
The front door of the restaurant explodes open.
It isn't the husband.
No, it's 4 uniformed police officers.
And this is important. They have their hands on their holsters.
This isn't a check on a disturbance call.
No, this is a felony in progress response. They are ready for violence.
The whole restaurant goes silent. You know that kind of silence when the pop music seems to just stop and every fork hits the plate at the exact same time?
The police scan the room.
And then one of them points directly at Sarah. He goes, that's her.
Imagine the cognitive dissonance she experiences in that exact second.
Right. She thinks she's the hero who just saved a woman from a corrupt cop.
Suddenly, the real police are pointing guns at her.
Her brain cannot bridge that gap.
It is a complete mental short circuit.
They rush her. Ma'am, put your hands where I can see them.
She freezes.
She just stares at them. She asks, what? Why? They spin her around. Cold metal on her wrists. Handcuffs.
Public humiliation is a very powerful tool for disorientation.
She is being stripped of her identity as Sarah the waitress.
And branded as the suspect.
She describes seeing her manager frozen behind the counter, her coworkers with their jaws dropped. Everyone is watching her get dragged out of the restaurant in handcuffs, wearing $10,000 heels she couldn't possibly afford.
And the irony is palpable.
How so?
The very object she took to help is the visual marker that identifies her to the police. It's like a neon sign flashing guilty.
They push her into the squad car. Silence on the ride to the station.
She must be frantic.
She is asking questions. Am I being arrested? What did I do? They aren't answering.
But the real kick in the gut comes when they arrive at the station.
What does she see?
She walks to the entrance, and there they are. The woman from the restaurant. And the husband.
Both of them are in handcuffs, being led through the booking area, just like her.
That must have been the moment her brain just broke.
She says her stomach dropped. She's thinking, why are they here? Did they arrest him for domestic abuse? Did they arrest her too? Why am I involved?
See, she still thinks the narrative is abusive husband versus victim wife.
She hasn't realized yet that she is in a completely different movie.
She thinks she's a witness, but she's being treated like a co-conspirator.
So they take her to an interrogation room, cuff her to a metal table, a detective walks in.
And this is where we get into the third part of our framework, the structural explanation.
We need to understand the mechanics of what you called the Fall Guys setup.
Right. Let's look at the interrogation first, and then we will reverse engineer the actual crime.
The detective slides a photo of the heels across the table. He asks, what do you know about these?
A standard opening. He wants her to commit to a story.
And she does. She tells the truth. She says, a woman at the restaurant gave them to me. She said her husband was going to kill her tonight. She said he was a cop, so she couldn't call for help.
And how does the detective react?
Stone-faced, completely skeptical. Sarah continues. She said she couldn't run on ice and heels, so we swapped. I gave her my sneakers. She gave me these, then she ran out the back.
Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Listen to how that sounds from the outside. A stranger gave me $10,000 diamond shoes in exchange for my dirty Nikes because of a secret plot involving a murderous cop.
It sounds implausible when you say it out loud to a stranger, doesn't it?
It sounds insane. It sounds like a lie a 5-year-old would make up to get out of trouble.
The detective just stares at her and says, interesting story. Sarah insists. It's the truth. And then the detective drops a bomb. He says, her story is different.
Of course it is.
Sarah panics. She pleads with him, go to the restaurant, check the cameras, you see everything. The detective just leaves. She sits there for 2 hours.
That waiting period is agonizing. It's designed to make you crack. But it also allows the police time to verify the footage.
If there were no camera, well, we will get to that horror show later.
Eventually, a different detective walks in.
He takes the cuffs off. He says, you're free.
The relief must have been overwhelming.
But Sarah is still confused. She asks, what happened? And the detective explains everything.
And this is where the genius, the evil genius of the crime, is finally revealed.
Let's break it down. What was the actual crime?
The detective says, 4 hours ago, there was a robbery at Lexington Luxury Mall. A $200,000 heist.
Okay, so this is big time.
This isn't petty theft. This is grand larceny. This is federal time.
On the way out, the criminals spotted a patrol car. They panicked. They ducked into your restaurant to blend in.
So the entry into the restaurant wasn't planned at all. It was a scramble. They were burned. They were improvising.
Exactly. The detective slides Sarah's dirty sneakers across the table. He says, the criminals were the woman who gave you the heels and her husband.
They were a team. A modern-day Bonnie and Clyde.
They needed a fall guy. So they found you. They made up the husband's story so you'd willingly take the evidence. We'd find you in the stolen heels.
This is the structure we need to look at. Let's look at the problem the criminals faced.
Okay.
They have the stolen goods. The heels. Which are essentially a tracking beacon.
They're the hottest item in the city right now.
They know the police are closing in. If they walk out with the heels, they get caught with the evidence. Game over.
Right.
So they need to separate themselves from the evidence, but they can't just throw the heels in the trash can in the restaurant bathroom.
Why?
If the cops find the heels in the trash, they know the thieves are in the building or very close by. They lock down the block. They check prints.
Exactly. And they can't just leave them under the table either.
They need a distraction. They need a decoy. A fall guy.
They need the police to stop looking for them and start chasing someone else.
You can't just hand a stranger a pair of stolen shoes and say, hold these, I just robbed a jewelry store.
No, the stranger will say no, or call the cops immediately.
So they had to manufacture a reason for the stranger to want to hold the shoes.
To beg to hold the shoes.
And not just hold them, wear them.
And not just wear them, keep them. They needed a narrative that made taking the stolen property feel like the moral thing to do.
They needed to convert receiving stolen property into an act of heroism.
Yeah. That brings us to the most painful part of this deep dive. Section 4 of our framework.
The counterintuitive point.
Weaponized empathy.
This is the part that keeps me up at night. This is the philosophical core of what we're talking about today.
Sarah did everything right, morally speaking.
She really did.
She saw a woman in absolute terror. She listened. She took a personal risk to help someone she thought was in danger. She was brave.
And that bravery is exactly why the scam worked so perfectly.
If she had been rude,
Scam failed.
if she had been indifferent,
Scam failed.
if she had been lazy and just said, look, not my problem, honey,
The scam fails. The criminals relied 100% on her being a good person.
they bet their freedom on her empathy.
That is so twisted. They weaponized her goodness.
It is a core concept in advanced social engineering. Empathy is a vulnerability.
The criminals knew that if they pitched a story about domestic abuse and corrupt police, it would trigger a savior complex.
It overrides the skepticism.
It makes you feel like you are the protagonist in a drama.
And looking back at the details, the story it was almost too perfect. It was engineered to block every single exit.
It was a sealed loop. Let's look at the objection Sarah might have had in that booth.
Okay.
Objection 1. Call the police.
Response. He is the police.
Check. Objection 2. Just run away.
Response. I can't run in these heels on the ice.
Check. Objection 3. I'll help you run.
Response. No, I need to go alone to draw him away, but I need your shoes.
It funneled her to the only possible conclusion. Swap the shoes.
Exactly. When a stranger's story systematically shuts down every logical solution except one specific action.
Especially an action that puts you at risk or gives them what they want.
It's a trap. Always.
It's like a maze where every turn is blocked off until you walk right into the spider's web.
And notice the size 7 detail again.
Oh, right.
The waitress says size 7 and the woman immediately says, I'm size 7 too.
The odds of that are, well, they aren't impossible, but it is incredibly convenient.
Do you think she was actually a size 7?
Does it even matter?
True.
If she was a size 8, she would have jammed her feet in just to get out the door. If she was a size 6, she would have worn them loose.
The point wasn't the fit.
The point was the connection. We are the same. We fit.
It builds rapport. It makes the swap feel destined.
It makes me think about my own instincts. I really want to believe I would help. But hearing this, it makes you want to build a wall around yourself.
It makes you want to ignore everyone who asks for help.
That is the tragedy of crimes like this. It erodes social trust. It punishes altruism. It makes us inherently suspicious of suffering.
So let's reflect on this. Synthesis. We have to talk about the what if.
The what if is the scariest part of this entire story.
Sarah was released. She walked away without a record. Why?
Because of the security cameras.
The detective explicitly said, footage confirmed you were telling the truth. They saw the trembling, the conversation, the actual swap.
Imagine if that blind spot in the restaurant didn't have a camera.
Or if the system was down that night.
Or if the angle was just slightly off and didn't catch the table.
Oh my God.
Think about it from the police perspective for a second. They chase criminals into a restaurant. They find a woman wearing the stolen merchandise from a $200,000 heist.
Her shoes, her actual physical sneakers, are found in the possession of the fleeing criminals.
It looks like she's the accomplice.
It looks like she's the inside man. Here, take my sneakers so you can run. I'll hide the goods.
Without that video of the woman trembling, begging, and the actual swap happening, Sarah goes to prison. Probably for a very long time.
She'd be charged with possession of stolen goods, accessory to robbery.
And her defense? A stranger told me a sad story about an abusive cop.
Juries don't always buy that.
It sounds too convenient. It sounds like a fabrication.
It is terrifying how fragile the truth was in that single moment.
It really underscores the vulnerability of the fall guy. The fall guy is designed to take the blame. The structure works because the fall guy actually has the evidence on them.
You know, it reminds me of a personal experience I had.
Oh, really? Tell me.
It wasn't nearly as dramatic as a $200,000 heist, but the feeling, the psychological mechanism was exactly the same.
What happened?
I was at a gas station really late at night. A guy came up to me, absolutely frantic. Yes. He said his wife was in labor in their car just around the corner, and he ran out of gas, and in the panic, he forgot his wallet.
The ticking clock.
He was sweating, shaking, pacing back and forth.
The exact same mechanism as the restaurant.
Exactly. He asked for $20. He said just 2 gallons to get my wife to the hospital.
And what did you do?
I gave him the money. I didn't even think about it. I felt like a savior. I felt like a genuinely good person helping a family in crisis. 10 minutes later, I saw him walking out of the convenience store with a case of beer and a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, man.
No car, no pregnant wife, just walked off down the street. I felt like such an idiot.
But the thing is, in that moment, the urgency was so real, you couldn't access your skepticism.
I really couldn't. It bypassed all my logical filters.
And that cost you $20.
Yeah.
Sarah's situation could have cost her 20 years in a federal penitentiary.
But the mechanism is identical.
It creates a state of emotional emergency where saying no feels like a profound moral failure.
So what does this mean for us? For the listeners, do we just stop helping people? Do we all just become cynics?
No, I don't think that's the answer. We can't become robots. Society relies on us helping each other.
So what's the takeaway?
We have to learn to verify, then trust.
Verify, then trust. Unpack that for us.
If someone says, he is a cop, don't call the police, that is a massive red flag. The isolation tactic is the absolute signature of a predator.
So if someone tries to isolate you from official help, you should run.
Correct. Always involve a third party. And maybe, just maybe, pause when the request involves a $10,000 exchange.
That too. If the value proposition is skewed, if you are getting way more than you are giving, stop.
The waitress got $10,000 shoes for $60 sneakers. That is an economic imbalance that screams danger.
In nature, if a predator offers you free food, you are the trap.
It's a hard lesson. Sarah went to work just to pay her bills and ended up a suspect in a heist movie.
And she survived it. But I bet she never looks at a pair of designer heels the same way again.
I guarantee she doesn't.
And I bet she never swaps shoes with a stranger in a bathroom again.
Definitely not.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We have covered a lot of ground today.
We really have.
We started with the phenomenon, the bizarre shoe swap. We looked at the architecture of urgency, how the bathroom break created a ticking clock.
We looked at the Trojan horse, the heels, as evidence disguised as a luxury gift.
We broke down the fall guy structure, using a patsy to clear the exit past the police.
And we learned about weaponized empathy, how our deep desire to be good can be used against us.
It is a complete anatomy of a scam.
It really is.
And it leaves me with one final thought for everyone listening today.
What is that?
We all want to be the protagonist of our own lives. We all want to be the hero who steps up and saves the day.
Of course.
But the next time someone approaches you with a frantic, heartbreaking story and a request for a weird favor, will you pause long enough to ask yourself a simple question?
Which is?
Are you the hero of this story? Or are you the fall guy?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Stay safe out there.
And keep your shoes on.